One. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our live. This is a Monday night, and we will continue to do lives every other Monday night should you show enough interest. So be sure and leave comments. If not during the live itself, then at the playback or the replay, if you will. We are going to see if anyone joins us. We're going to give it a few minutes. In the meantime, Leah's going to tell us about her favorite stuffed animal as a child.
No, I'm not.
Why not?
No, I'm not. Can they see you?
No, they can't see me.
Why?
Because I'm viewing it from the back just to see how it works. We're using an app called Prism because it allows 1080p rather than 720p. And what that means is you get to see Leah and her beautiful smile in a crisper version with this Prism app than you would with YouTube's built-in app. So I'm observing from this side, that's why. But we do have a topic that we want to talk about. Why do people keep telling us the same thing over and over in all of our comments sections of our videos? So if you didn't watch our last video, of course we recommend that you do. We like it. So it was a little bit maybe controversial, and maybe we didn't articulate some of the points the way that we really wanted to. And this would be an opportunity to discuss that if anyone wants to join in and say, hey, what did you mean by this? What did you mean by that? But really, what we were talking about the other day, and we thought, let's just throw that into a live, is this one particular comment that gets repeated over and over and over. What is that comment, Leah?
There's several. Take it easy.
Oh, it's all in the same vein.
Yes.
Basically,
don't worry.
Don't
Take
think
it easy.
too much. Take it easy.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
It'll be okay.
It'll be okay. So, what is it with this notion of don't think too much? In our videos, are we overthinking things? Or, because I think we're thinking things through. I think we're trying to understand. Like, for our videos, I feel like we try to ask questions of our Taiwanese audience in particular, something unique about the culture here, in hopes that we'll learn something from that inquiry. But it was on the videos that have ruffled the most feathers that we get this comment a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks to travel in Taiwan. That video got the same comment. Don't think too much. Don't think too much. And we're talking about when comments are left in Mandarin and when comments are left in English. It's the same thing. Don't think too much. Don't worry about it. Live life easy, etc., etc. And I'm wondering if we're generally just uptight.
Who's we?
You think it's just me?
I think it's more you than it is me. So what does the comment mean to you when you hear it?
What does it mean to me when I hear it?
How are you processing it when people tell you this?
Don't think too. That we're overthinking things and that it's not important.
You keep saying we.
Yes, you are a part of this. You contribute.
I'm going
If
to
you
play
go back
devil's advocate.
Well,
What does the comment
okay.
mean to you when you hear people say, it'll be okay, don't think too much, don't worry about it?
I think they're trying to downplay the criticism that they're perceiving that we're offering up. I think they're like, oh, don't think too much. Like, shh. I think it's trying to temper the tone such that it's non-confrontational, but like, you don't worry about that. But it's things that are important to me, things that are important to me about everyday life in Taiwan. So I think it's reasonable to put that question out there, but then when I put the question out there, people are like, oh, don't think about it too much. Like, especially during the Don't Say Chinese New Year video, that comment came up so much, and it was talking about even when people agreed with just call it Lunar New Year, people who call it Chinese New Year are thinking too much, and then people who said just call it Chinese New Year, people who say Lunar New Year, they're thinking too much. Don't think too much. And I'm just wanting to know why so many of our Taiwanese commenters are telling us not to think, because that's all I do is sit around and think.
I don't think it's don't think. I think it's don't make a big deal out of something that is not a big deal. But it's a big deal to you, but maybe in the culture it's not. You can call it Chinese New Year, you can call it Lunar New Year, or you can call it New Year.
But if you look back at the comments, people really put a lot into it on how they felt about it. And so clearly it does mean something to a lot of people besides just me. There were a lot of people who went through and really broke down the language and talked about the history of the terms and how it's only when we put it into English that we have to choose between Lunar or Chinese New Year because it has a different name altogether in Mandarin and how that name has even changed. And there's two variations of people there were a lot of scholastic type of
But that's
remarks.
that's educating you on the term to let you know how that is bridged over from this culture to our culture.
Right.
In the case of the last video that we just did, where you had your break in your shoulder and the things that we have experienced, and again, Justin has said if you haven't seen that video, it'd be great if you just go and check it out so you have a little bit of context of what we're speaking about. I think there is a sense of, first of all, there's nothing that you can, not necessarily nothing that you can do about it, but stressing, making yourself angry, feeling like you need to do due diligence, and heightening yourself is not worth it. And we also found out there were other things that we could have done that we weren't aware of as foreigners. Like I didn't know that we could challenge the policy. I wasn't aware. I didn't know that.
I know. I'm going to stop that right there. I think the comments where people said, "Go ahead and challenge the policy so long as it's not illegal," are
Yes.
considering a person lying there with broken bones in their body and what kind of fight they can actually mount at that point. So I thought those were a little unrealistic in the consideration. Whenever I challenge the policy for getting ice cream instead of a strawberry sundae, should I have escalated it from that one manager to another manager to another manager? Like, who really is going to take that time? Like, that's just unnecessary and it's too much work.
According to who?
You just want to be antagonistic tonight, don't you?
According to who?
According to me, like, it's such a simple effort. It was such a simple effort to not put the strawberries in and just
But
pour the ice
honestly,
cream.
it wasn't.
No, it is. That's the point of my position in the video. It is that easy, but the policy is more important than the customer.
So if you know that, and you know that the policy is, if you know that the policy upholds over people's personal opinion, why put that much effort into it? Why put that much effort into pointing out that they could not put strawberries on your ice cream as opposed to knowing,
Because too often do we have people telling us that it makes no sense, there's no reason for it, it's just our policy. That's the whole point of making the video.
Okay.
The whole point of making the video is there is this acceptance within this culture from what I can see. This is where you guys chime in and start telling us. Do we have any comments from anybody? Has anyone even joined yet? This is where you join in and tell me how wrong I am about my interpretation of your culture, because I don't know. But it's my anecdotal experience has taught me that people are more willing to just accept than to challenge, right?
Yeah.
Here, and it's something that's so simple. There's so many things that are so simple. Like when we went out to eat oysters. And it was all you could eat grilling oysters. You know what it's like,
yeah.
right? And you sat down and you said, "I'm not having oysters." Like, we still have to charge you. I'm literally allergic to oysters. She's not really, but as far as they're concerned, she could literally be allergic to oysters. And they're like, "We still have to charge you." No, she's not going to eat them. And she was going to sit at another table.
Yeah, they told us that if we didn't want to adhere by the policy, that I could order something else and not have to pay for the all-you-can-eat menu if I sat at a different table.
Yeah, you'd have to
Because it was
sit
their policy. Yeah.
It was their policy. I understand why the policy is there. The policy is there to protect people from abusing it. But we were clearly the only people there.
No, not only that, I ordered food that was worth more than the all-you-can-eat buffet.
The food you were ordering was of greater value. And it was just so frustrating to me that the owner couldn't think differently. It's like, nope, I have policy and I must adhere to it. Dude, did you really think we were gonna sneak in oysters into her belly and like rip you off? I mean, for as trusting as what it is that this adhering to the policy for me is at odds with the overall generosity and trust and support that we get from Taiwan. It's at odds with that. It conflicts with that. I was like, you don't trust us. You're telling us I don't trust that woman to not eat oysters. I really don't think if you asked them, what, do you don't trust this woman here? You don't trust her? I don't think the owner would say, no, I don't trust her. He would say, no, it's just our policy. Mm-hmm. Dude, you made the policy. You can change the policy. And I think it's plays into the matter of we can't change it because we can't make any exceptions. Because once we make an exception, then the policy has no value. Policies are not laws. Policies are not dictates from God, his or herself. They are simply human constructs. All right? They should be guidelines that help you stay the path, the course. Like they meet an objective. Right? They create an environment where the objective can be met. But they shouldn't limit for extenuating circumstances. I have broken bones in my body that are poking through the skin. They could have simply given me the surgery then and then deep cleaned the surgery field afterwards.
No, that's what we do in the States. That's
no,
not necessarily
that's what another hospital would have done. In Taiwan.
Yeah, but not the hospital that we were at.
I know, because no one was willing to say, that's a better choice for that individual. That's a better choice for that human that's in pain. That's a better choice. No, I have policy. I must adhere to the policy. Adhering to the policy at that point, and I love all the comments that people gave, and there were some people that gave very, very lengthy comments implying that we're not mature enough to fully understand that there's so much more that goes on in a hospital than what I'm experiencing. I don't care. I'm in pain, and I shouldn't have to suffer because someone in management can't manage to let the policy be flexible. Because here, policy serves as a more severe and strict, almost legalistic definition of how you should behave and how you should conduct yourself. It doesn't allow for any flexibility. I mean, it just doesn't.
I beg to differ. I think we had flexibility with policy when we moved out of our apartment because then it wasn't law. The policy stated it was a no smoking building, and then it was a smoking building, but then the policy became flexible enough that it was not adhered to.
The policy wasn't legally enforceable, but they wouldn't do anything to make the other person move out. So again,
or stop smoking. I don't even care about move out. I mean,
go
stop
outside
smoking. Go outside.
But that's my point. Policy is valued more than the people. That's the only conclusion I can reach. It's the only conclusion I can reach. And I don't know, maybe it's this strict adherence to policy that keeps this country held together.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what constitutes your moral fabric, but I really don't think so. Because I see too much kindness and compassion and generosity, which I think contributes more to the social moral standards of Taiwan than just adherence to policy. But then again, we run into situations where the policy is more important than the people. I think every time, so back to the comment that why do people keep saying this to us? Why do people keep telling us, don't think too much? Is it because we're being critical? Is it because it's a taboo subject and they don't want us to make an issue of it because it somehow it may reflect poorly on Taiwan as a country, or are we literally just overthinking stuff to the point that we really don't need to put this much time and effort into it? Like, are the questions we ask about Taiwanese society, are the conclusions we draw from our experiences just not worth considering? And I think that's kind of what I feel sometimes when people say, don't think about it. You're thinking too much. I've been told I think too much my entire life, so I'm kind of used to hearing it.
Okay.
I just think in this social and cultural context, it means something differently than what my grandpa used to say to me. Boy, don't be thinking, you're thinking too much. Like, just stop talking, kid. I know what he was saying. Go outside and play with the other children. Leave me alone. I just want to sit there and smoke my cigarettes and contemplate my mortality. So that's what he was doing. All right. I'm waiting for you to come back with some more.
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
So why are people saying what they're saying?
Because they mean it. I don't think that the view on policy is the same view that we have coming from the States.
Clearly it's not.
And so if this entire culture is able to function in whatever definition that you have come to and that you're presenting, then the fact that you are bent out of shape by something that is accepted by an entire culture is maybe asking you to think differently. So whether or not they agree with it, or whether or not people are telling us behind closed doors that they don't, I know it's stupid, and yes, it doesn't make sense, and blah, 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 does not stop the fact that people still follow the policy.
Whether they want to or not.
Whether they want to or not.
Whether they agree with the policy or not.
Whether they agree with the policy or not. And that, again, might be the reason why Taiwan functions the way that it does. It may be.
Is that true? Is that true, Taiwan? Is it the adherence to policy, the strict adherence to policy, the reason we love this country so much? Are we missing the point here? Like, is that what makes everyone so generous with their time, generous with their goods, generous with their smiles? Is the adherence to policy? Am I thinking too much again now? Is this just going to be all the comments on this video is going to be, dude, don't think too much. Stop thinking so much. Easy life. I don't know. I think the last video and the other videos that got that comment a lot were videos that were slightly controversial, and maybe further pursuit of those topics could lead to tarnishing the reputation of Taiwan.
How so?
Just by any criticism of it whatsoever.
All countries have criticism. No country is perfect.
No country is perfect. But this country in particular has a very delicate place on the world stage. And we as foreigners, you know what I mean? I think it's one of the reasons what makes foreign YouTubers so popular in Taiwan is the fact that we often talk about how great Taiwan is, and they can hold that up and say, here you go. We are a nation that deserves recognition. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely am appalled by how other nations identify and treat Taiwan as if it weren't its own independent country. Mm-hmm. Like, that aggravates me to no end. And that's one of the reasons why we want to make videos the way that we do, is because we want to be people that are talking about the place that we're living in a realistic manner, but we also want to put out videos that, I mean, if you look at our videos, like, there's a reason why we're still here. There's a reason why we enjoy Taiwan so much. And that gets conveyed. But, it's reasonable to also look at the things that are a little more challenging and go, come on, Taiwan, what's up with this? And I don't think Taiwan is stagnant. I think it's slowly changing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think this is such a young country, such a young democracy, and the way that it develops is going to be constantly changing. And in some way, I think these questions are going to come up one way or another. I don't think what we're asking or what we're talking about is that unique. I just think that because we're foreigners, us asking it might be problematic.
Don't worry.
Just don't worry. Live life. Be happy. Okay, I'm being happy, but I'm also being real. Keeping 100 up in here. Can I say that?
No, you
Okay,
cannot.
sorry. It's called cultural appropriation. All right. So every other Monday, throw some comments up here. Every other Monday, get a little bit of us. I think we'll be out mobile some of the times, and we always won't be here at the house. But it just so happened tonight we're here because it was raining outside. Who wants to take an iPhone out into the rain? Although it is waterproof, you found out this weekend, didn't you?
I did.
Boy, we got some good videos coming your way. Leah has dunked her phone so many times in the river. We'll have to wait for the video. Thanks for joining in, and let us know when was the last time you did something for the first time, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time you did something for the first time?
Tonight, having a live in our living room. It's our first live.
Okay, there you go.
In our living room.
In our living room.
Yes.
What else?
That's it.
That was the last time. What's the time before that?
Rescuing you off of.
Oh, no, okay. No, never mind. That's it. Thanks, folks. Talk to you later. Bye. There's 8 people in there. Sorry, everybody. We don't know how to view this and see your comments, if there are any. We're using a new app. We'll get this figured out. Join us again, shall you? Thank you.